Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KitBatcher.com, out here today to tell you about my experience at the Desert Brutality 2022. If you're unfamiliar with Desert Brutality, it is a really fun shooting competition put on by InRange TV, as well as Ian over there from Forgotten Weapons. And well, here's the match director to kind of give you a rundown.
Hi, I'm Russell Fagan. I'm the match coordinator for Desert Brutality 2022. We're at the Southern Utah Practical Shooting Range in St. George, Utah, and we're going to go over the details of Desert Brutality. So the match we're shooting today on Friday, November 11th, Veterans Day, is the Trooper Division's match. For Trooper Division, all the competitors have to hike out a half mile, hike in a half mile, wearing all their equipment, food, ammo, cleaning supplies, etc. that they will use during the duration of the match. Under the Trooper Divisions, we have several subdivisions. I competed today in Armored Plus P Trooper, which requires a rifle and a pistol. Accessories are unlimited as long as you carry them. You got to wear rifle-rated plates and a ballistic helmet. One of the other divisions we have is Partisan Trooper, which is kind of a limited division in that you have a number of points available to use on equipment. Every optic you use is a point. Using high cap mags over 17 rounds in pistol or 30 rounds in rifle is a point, regardless of the number of magazines used. Compensator on a pistol is a point, bipod on a rifle is a point. You're limited to 3 points. So it gives the shooter some choices about what the loadout they're going to use and how effective it's going to be throughout the courses of fire. We also have PCC divisions at this match because the range is limited to 200 yards. 200 yards of the PCC is a tricky shot, but they use the PCC for all the pistol and all the rifle targets, so they have an easier time on the pistol stages and a harder time on the actual distance rifle targets. So for the ultimate masochist, we have Nightmare Division, where it's Armored Plus P Trooper, but all the stage descriptions are harder. For example, on the Casarda drill, where most people would be throwing a 50-pound kettlebell, they're throwing a 90-pound kettlebell. There's extra iterations, there's extra physical challenges, and extra penalties. So for all the people who want a harder match experience, Nightmare Division's where it's at. So this is a total time match, meaning your total time, the lowest total time on all the stages combined, is the winner. Most of our penalties are plus 60 seconds, so the penalties are pretty severe. If you screw up, it's going to hurt. Nightmare Division, it's going to hurt even more.
My first experience was Desert Brutality 2020. Had a ton of fun shooting through it there and had the opportunity to go down 2022. This time, rather than being in Arizona, it was actually up outside of St. George, Utah. Pretty cool range facility, and it's a blast. A bunch of different divisions where people can kind of shoot whatever they choose to bring. For my own part, you saw my loadout. Ended up shooting my MiniFix in 6.8 SPC. And my F-Series PvP pistol by Walther, and it was a lot of fun, like just a really good time. And because of the divisions, you have some people shooting some pretty unique stuff, whether it's stuff in the pistol caliber carbine division or some pretty fun kind of themed setups. One of the guys I was squatted with was pretty much going Austrian. Whole Austrian get up. He had a Gen 1 Glock 17, I think it was, and he initially started the day with like an old school Steyr AUG. He ended up running into some issues with it, had to switch out to a Swiss gun, but yeah, just overall some pretty cool kind of themed guns and like costumes essentially there at Desert Brutality. Probably one of the coolest there was the kind of like wasteland post-apocalyptic trio. They definitely spent some time on those costumes. It was pretty cool.
And move.
The match was made up of 7 different stages. I believe they had one that was pistol only, one that was rifle only, and then the rest was kind of some sort of split between rifle as well as pistol. Sometimes you'd start out shooting rifle, ground it, and then go to pistol, shoot in some different bays. They had a couple, at least 1 or 2, I believe, set up like that. And overall, it's pretty fun. Like just some kind of fun stage design. And one of the probably staples, I guess, of Desert Brutality or any of the brutalities is, I believe it's the Casarda, where you have a kettlebell and you essentially start, pitch that thing, or maybe you start with a shot. I don't remember. Either way, you're pitching the kettlebell, going to where it was, shooting from there, pitch the kettlebell, go to where it was, shoot from there. And basically you got to go from point A to point B as quick as you can. And each of the sticks you pass is a deduction in your overall time. So trying to get there as quick as possible. That was definitely a pretty fun stage. For my own part, the very first stage we shot was the one with the spinner. First thing in the morning, like 7 a.m., it's like 35 degrees out. By the time I got shooting pistol, my hands were still not warm. They were probably even colder because I didn't have them in my pockets, and it definitely showed on the pistol. As far as the rifle spinner, actually went surprisingly well, given I was shooting a little bolt gun and 6.8 SPC and running into some intermittent magazine issues, but definitely got that over with the bolt gun, which was pretty cool. And went up to the pistol, or with my pistol, ended up timing out. I was just missing. Probably the hardest stage there was, I want to say it was pistol only, and I think like over half the competitors timed out, which honestly is not a ton of fun, but it was definitely hard. You essentially got penalized for any misses, which I don't think it was that way kind of with any other stage, but what happened is you would move through these boxes after first initially, I believe, shooting like this Death Star, go around to the set of bay, and you'd move into these boxes, shoot one on the left, one on the right, and when you got 2 hits, you'd move forward, 2 hits, move forward, hit, drop a shot, all the way back to the first box. And so, yeah, that honestly was pretty frustrating. I would get closer where you think it'd be easier to hit those targets, and then I'd drop around, have to go all the way back. So I ended up timing out on that stage. Another fun stage that honestly I think a lot of people ended up timing out on was essentially one where you're starting at the 200 and you're moving over and through and around kind of different barricades and shooting from 200 up. And then there's some shots where you drop your mag, so you have 1 round in the chamber, make that shot, and you either hit or miss. You get a penalty if you miss, and then make your way back, and yeah, basically working through that. It's actually a pretty fun stage of fire. I, again, ended up timing out, so did a lot of people on that one. For my own part, just running into like magazine issues, and I definitely dropped a couple rounds, but that was probably one of the more fun stages, just that it was the furthest distance we got to shoot with the rifle. Starting, I believe, at 200, working up to, I don't know, probably 50, 75, and then working our way back. Pretty fun to shoot.
Hit! Safe and through. Get low. Hit! Hit! I left. Hit! Save it. Table it. Over. Your 2 outsides first. Hit! Hit! Drop mag! Hit! Move! Fall back, fall back, fall back! Table and over, table and over! Outsides first. Hit. Hit. Drop bag. Hit. Fall back, fall back, fall back. Under, under, under.
Probably one of the most fun things about this competition is, one, the people, because there's people that show up like to compete and see how well they can do, but like there's no one in jerseys. Like, it's people coming out to have fun, and part of it is just the divisions that are set up. Like, they lend themselves to just dressing up and having fun, and you see it kind of across the board in all the different competitors. Some really fun, just different guns, different setups, and yeah, opportunity to just kind of test stuff out as well, and overall a fun environment. Right here, Russell ended up kind of running down some of his gear, and yeah, he had a pretty sweet setup too.
All right, so in Armored Plus P Division, I used my Doomslayer carbine. This is a theme build that Pro 2 Customs helped me do a couple years ago. I am the KP15 program manager at KE Arms, so I pulled serial number KM06660 off the production line. Definitely appropriate for a Doomslayer gun. It is Cerakoted, and we have the UAC logo lasered onto the buttstock here. And on the opposite side of the magwell, we have the Doomslayer rune lasered into the Cerakote there. This is a 16-inch Ballistic Advantage mid-length barrel with a Shadow Valley Systems compensator. I have a Harris 9 to 13-inch bipod on it with a LaRue mount. The optics package is a SIG Romeo 8T with a Juliet 4 magnifier. It flips out of the way. I really like the Romeo 8T for the window size, battery life being 100,000 hours with the CR123, etc. And I am using a chrome Young Manufacturing bolt carrier group. The KP15 lower itself is equipped with the ambidextrous magazine release, ambidextrous selector, and this one has a SLT2 SearLink technology trigger installed. So this Glock I'm using is actually a police trade-in frame that I was able to find that had 666 in the serial number as well to go with my Doomslayer themed set. The frame has been worked over by Pro 2 Customs for stippling and an accelerator style cut on the side there for my support side thumb. It has a Leupold Delta Point Pro installed, KE Arms KE34 Charlie slide that's no longer in production. I recently installed the Timney trigger in this, which is amazing and scary how light and crisp it is. I would not want to use it for carry, but for match purposes, it is excellent. And I have the Rainier Arms ambidextrous magazine catch on there. And interesting thing about the magazine catch, it really likes Glock PMags. The Glock OEM mags don't really like it. They get kind of chewed up using them. Torque mags also work well with it. The heavier glass-filled nylon content of both the Torque mags and the PMags seem to work best with this particular magazine catch. All right, this is my Whiskey 24 Plate Carrier 24 I used in Armored Plus P Trooper Division. The most noticeable feature of this plate carrier is the structural cummerbund. It's semi-rigid, and what that does is it holds the plates centered relative to each other, so you don't have the up and down movement front and rear you encounter with a lot of elastic cummerbund plate carriers. You can just plug it in there, fold the Velcro over. You can also put Fastex buckles on the cummerbund if you want to have it spaced out a little bit more for quick release. I like having the more real estate by having it closer. But incredibly comfortable with the Hesco 3810 plates I have in there. Excellent plate carrier for Armored Division competition use.
Well, I probably wasn't the most competitive person in my division since I was running a bolt action in Assault Rifle Iron Division. It was still a lot of fun. I was a little disappointed running into some magazine issues, which if you saw my loadout video, I kind of talked about that some. Either way, it was a good time. I think I came in 11th out of 16 in my division, and then like 106 out of like 167 or something like that in the entire thing, like overall. The best, ironically, the best, I guess, time I had on any of the stages was the Casarda drill, where, again, running a manual, I think I came in like 19 or 20th or something out of 160 something competitors. I was able to run that short throw bolt. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just a good time out there. Like, community makes it. Since I ended up camping down there, which you could do down there at that range in St. George, Utah, I ended up meeting kind of the people around me, one of which, pretty cool guy. I'm like, who do you remind me of? And I was squatted with him. Awesome guy, great shooter. And it finally dawned on me. I'm like, Jungle Recon, the guy from G.I. Joe. Totally. Amazing mustache. And it was actually really fun competing with him in my squad too, because he ended up, I think he had competed the previous day, like before the official start on Friday, where people were doing like Insanity and Trooper divisions. And so on Saturday, Sunday, we were competing together on the same squad, both in assault rifle irons, and he ended up actually coming in second. And when you have someone that is like a good shooter, it definitely like makes you push yourself. And you're like, oh, I should probably try and step up my game, which I could only step it up so much, and pistol definitely ate my lunch, but it was really cool. He ended up coming in second place in that division, and yeah, great shooter. If you're interested in competing in Desert Brutality or any other kind of flavor thereof, I believe they also have a woodland brutality and like cornfield brutality, something like that. Basically different ones in different regions of the country. They're pretty cool. They are initially, I believe, like all of the slots for the competition are opened up to the InRange TV, to their Patreon, I believe. And then after that, anything else, any different slots are open to the public. Overall, I think it's just a really fun competition that brings out a good group of people and gives you the opportunity to just kind of go run some obscure guns. Bring out whatever you can find kind of in the back of your gun safe and go have fun with it. And last but not least, if you appreciate my content and want to support it, I greatly appreciate it. Whether it's liking and sharing videos or supporting me directly through Patreon, all that stuff helps me go out and create more content for you. And if you have questions for me, happy to answer them over on Patreon, where we have an active Discord server. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadge.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah. Head! 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 Show clear!